Who's just a really, really good kicker. What other awards did you notice?
Well, of course, Jonathan Allen won Best Defensive Player of the Year. Reuben Foster won the Butkus Award for Best Linebacker. Cam Robinson won the Outland Trophies. Now Alabama's fourth winner of it. Basically, Alabama came away with a lot of awards last night, which isn't surprising. When you have the best team in the country, you have the best players in the country.
Right.
You're going to come away with awards like that, and it's amazing what Alabama's been able to do. They averaged 3.4 sacks a game.
Yeah.
Which led the SEC, and that's amazing in itself. And I just think that what Alabama's been able to do this year is pretty remarkable, and now they're getting rewarded for it.
Yeah, it has been really good. One thing that we did come across this past week, and it's really been like a theme all season, it seems, especially since the Browns have had a terrible season so far, and Alabama's had a really good season. We posted on our Twitter last night. What was it? Last night or the day before? Might have been the day before.
Wednesday, yeah.
Earlier this week, we posted a poll saying if A.J. McCarron was the quarterback for Alabama, could Alabama beat the Browns? I say no. I don't think that there is. I think that, it's men against boys. I know that Alabama's defensive line is really big, but these are a bunch of 30-year-old men, running around with 20-year-old kids. I don't think it's true. What do you think?
I think Alabama could beat them with A.J. McCarron at quarterback. Not with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. I do believe Alabama could beat them with A.J. McCarron at quarterback. He would be able to read the defenses, and you got guys that are going to be NFL stars one day in Calvin Ridley or Darius Stewart, O.J. Howard, and you got good running backs that I think Bo Scarborough would be the back that day. I think he would have to be the guy that day, but you got a good offensive line. It'd be interesting to see how they held up against the NFL style defensive line and those type of players. I don't see the Browns scoring much on them. That's my whole thing. They can't keep their quarterback healthy. They can't keep their quarterback protected. I just don't see them scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, their offensive line definitely is not good at all. I looked at their stats. They've allowed at least one sack in every single game this year. Sometimes they've allowed 5 sacks or more multiple times. So obviously their offensive line is not that good, but I don't know if Alabama's offense, people this year want to make Alabama out to be so great, and I understand, yeah, they're having a really good season, but personally, I don't think it's any better than years past. I don't think that Alabama's invincible. It's just that I kind of think that competition has kind of grown weak, and Alabama has kind of, maybe stayed the same at least.
I think as good as this offense is, give this team the 2014 offense with Blake Sims at quarterback, Yeldon and Henry back there, Ridley at receiver.
Well, here's my thing. Right now, if you take this Alabama team at the age that they are and you put in A.J. McCarron at quarterback, I don't think that they beat the Browns. However, if you take this same Alabama team, and you can even put Jalen Hurts in here, if you take Jalen Hurts and Alabama's team and you wait until all of them are like 20, at least 23, when you wait until Jalen Hurts finishes and is ready to go to the NFL, then yeah, I think that this Alabama team could beat the Browns. I just think that there's too much age difference. There's a big difference between a 30-year-old man and a 20-year-old kid. That's just my take on it. It would be close, but I don't think that the Browns would win. I do think the Browns would win. I don't think Alabama would win at all.
It'd be interesting to see this game. If it ever happened, I wish that there was a way that they could make it happen. But, it is what it is. I would love to see it. I think a lot of people would love to see it. But it's kind of a no-win situation for the Browns.
Yeah, so they got nothing. They got everything to lose, nothing to win.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get to our picks now. Only college football game of the weekend, but it's a game that I love. Everybody should watch it. Navy and Army play. Navy is a 6-point favorite in the game, and I got Navy covering. I think they pull away in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I got Navy winning too. I know they're on like a 12 or 13 game win streak against them, which is like for the past pretty much 20, or not 20, but probably the past 12 years they've just dominated the Army, it seems like. So I'm going to take them again this year.
And then moving over to the NFL, We're going to pick Arizona and Miami. Arizona travels to Miami and is a 2-point favorite. Arizona's kind of been very inconsistent this year, 5-6-1, with the one tie being the 6-6 tie with the Seahawks. Going to Miami, Miami's quietly had a pretty decent year at 7-5. They are second in the AFC East, and they're in there with the New England Patriots, which is going to make that division hard to win. But I got Miami winning at home this weekend.
I do too. This is a must-win game for Miami. I don't know exactly how the wild card's shaping up. Obviously, I don't think that they're going to win the division, but the wild card is definitely probably something. Let's see. Wild card looks like. They're in it. They're third back in the wild card behind Denver and Oakland. So yeah, there's a strong chance they have to win this weekend. They have to. So for that reason, I got Miami this weekend.
Atlanta travels out to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has been pretty inconsistent most of this year. Atlanta's a 6-point favorite on the road. I got Atlanta covering.
Yeah, I think Atlanta covers. I think it's going to be a pretty offensive game. I know the Rams play better at home. However, Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense is just playing too well lately.
Dallas travels to the New York Giants, which is a very, very intriguing game on Sunday night. The Cowboys can clinch the NFC East with a victory. They've won 11 straight. They're playing great with Dak at quarterback. Dallas 3.5-point favorite on the road, and I got the Giants winning this game.
See, this one's tough. I know the Giants beat the Cowboys earlier this season. It's the only loss the Cowboys have this season. It was in Dallas. I don't know. I mean, 3-point spread. That's getting on up there. I mean, obviously it's not a whole lot, but these games tend to be really, really close, especially with the Giants knowing what's at stake. And but I'm gonna take the Cowboys to cover in this one.
And then Green Bay hosts Seattle. Seattle has not won at Green Bay since November of 1999, and this game has become a little bit of a rivalry game. You have the Hail Mary pass from the Seahawks a few years ago to beat the Packers. You have the playoff game the year before where the Seahawks beat the Packers, and then the next year the Packers travel to Seattle and botch the onside kick, which gives Seattle a chance to tie it, go to overtime, they win. Last year, Seattle and the Packers played. The Packers finally came out victorious. The Packers at home, they've been playing well, and the Seahawks have just been very inconsistent. They put up 40 last week. The week before, they put up 5. They also only scored 6 on Arizona. So,
yeah,
it's been, just kind of shaky offensively. The Packers defense has settled down and started playing a little better the last 2 weeks. They're at home. The fans know what's at stake. The players know what's at stake. And I got the Packers winning.
I got the Packers winning too. This is big. This is a really big game. And the Seahawks, they're extremely inconsistent. Probably one of the most inconsistent offenses in the league, and especially when they're on the road. When they're at home, they're not so bad. They're actually pretty decent. But when they're on the road, they're just super, super shaky.
Well, I think that does it for the picks. Let's talk real quick about a few baseball moves that have been made this week in free agency. We just found out today Dexter Fowler signed a 6-year, $86.5 million deal. I think it might have been 5-year. Anyways, a huge deal with the Cardinals.
Do you think that? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, that is a big deal for the Cardinals. I think that's a really good pickup. I know that you kind of think that he's kind of
a little overpaid.
Yeah. I don't know if it's overpaid or not. I know I follow a lot of guys that are Cardinals fans on Twitter, and they seem to like the trade. So I guess it'll be all right. I think that it's a lot better than having Jason Hayward, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. But a few other moves. Wade Davis going to the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. And the Cubs traded Jorge Soler. So,
which was a good pickup, I think, for the Royals. I think both of them won in that trade.
Yeah, that was definitely good. I know last year before the Cubs got Chapman, they asked the Royals what the trade value at the trade deadline for Wade Davis was, and the Royals said that they wanted they were going to want Kyle Schwarber. Well, the Cubs obviously didn't think that Schwarber was worth Wade Davis at the time, so they got Chapman instead. But now, I mean, you look at it, speaking of the Chapman deal, I mean, the Yankees got some prospects for. Didn't they get some prospects for Chapman?
They got some prospects for Chapman, and now they got him back.
So the Yankees basically rented, like they leased Chapman for half a season, and then got some prospects, and now they signed Chapman back. He signed for a pretty hefty contract too. It's a lot, especially for a reliever. Do you think that they maybe overpaid him?
No,
Yeah.
No, they didn't overpay Chapman.
I don't know. To me, Chapman, he struggles in the playoffs. He struggles in big games, it seems like.
The reason he struggled, though, was they overused him. He's
Yeah.
not used to being thrown that much.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know
how many pitches he threw. He threw like 500-something pitches in the world or in the playoffs last year, which is a lot in that short period of time.
Yeah, that is a lot, but I don't think that he's overpaid. I think that the Yankees just have money just to blow on anything. I mean, might as well. I mean, they're gonna make that back and then some this year. I mean, just they got so much revenue coming in. They got money just going out everywhere. Another really big trade, probably one of the biggest ones that everybody was excited about, was Chris Sale got traded to the Red Sox, and in exchange for two top 3 prospects from the Red Sox, they're going to the White Sox. So the White Sox, I think, out of this, they got about 7 or 8 in the top 100 prospect list got traded just this past week. So the White Sox are really racking up. They're really trying to prepare for the next few years. The Red Sox, do you think that they have a shot this year? Do you think that this is going to be their year?
I think so. I think that the Red Sox have a good shot at making a good run at it if they stay healthy. Their bats are going to have to stay alive the way they were last year. They're going to have to find somebody to replace David Ortiz in that lineup, because he kind of made it where you couldn't pitch around some of those guys like Bogarts and those kind of guys. So, things need to fall into place for them, but I think the Red Sox are definitely a team that can make a good push for a World Series this year.
Yeah. The thing that concerns me for the Red Sox, I mean, they kind of had the pitching. I just felt like their offense was the issue. When they played the Indians in the first round of the playoffs, it seemed like they couldn't hit the Indians pitching, which obviously the Indians pitching was extremely good in the postseason. But I think the offense is it's kind of their weakness, and I think that that's really what they need. But I mean, who knows? This year they might come out swinging. They might do a little bit better. Obviously, they have a lot more help on the pitching staff now. The American League Cy Young winner is the 3rd best pitcher for the Red Sox, so that's kind of a scary thing to hear. A couple other things. The Braves were in the hunt with who was it?
Well, they want Chris Sale.
Yeah, they wanted Chris Sale, but now
they weren't able to pull that up. But they've been making some moves here lately. I know they traded Terrell Jenkins today, which was a kind of a surprise move by the Braves. He's a guy that a lot of guys were high on, but they've been making some moves, signing Bartolo Colon and R.A. Dickey. I'm not sure that those guys are ever going to see the field for the Braves. I feel like they're guys that might get traded before the year starts. And they're looking at Chris Archer and Sonny Gray, which I think are 2 good guys to be going after, 2 young guys. Gray didn't have the year that he was hoping for this past year. He got sick at the beginning of the year. But, if the Braves are able to land Archer or Gray, things could get interesting in Atlanta.
Yeah, it definitely could. I know the Rays came out and said that they were willing to get rid of Archer and Longoria, which I don't know how much trade value Longoria has, but I know Archer is a very good he's a very good pitcher, and he didn't really have a whole lot of offense. He doesn't have a whole lot of offense in Tampa Bay, so he probably needs to get out to see a little bit more success, and I think the Braves might be a pretty good fit for him, especially if the Braves can get their offense coming around, which I think they will, in a couple of years from now. That was pretty much all the trades that I can think of.
Yeah, here recently. So
yeah, we got a lot of bowl season starts in 2 weeks, or technically about 8 days. It's the first bowl game kicking off. Pretty excited stuff. a lot of good games. I know the FCS playoffs